Hello, this is John Bychuk, and I'm here to teach you how to be, or what a biomedical engineer is and what they do. Here's an overview of what a biomedical engineer does. They design biomedical supplies and equipment. So in the bottom right picture here on the screen is a man with a bionic leg. So an example of this is like a former Marine who lost their leg due to an explosion in battle, for example. What biomedical engineers would do is they would um, check to see just how to make it, how it reacts with the body, stuff like that. Workplaces, you could be a professor and you can teach it at any given university with a solid engineer program. Research facilities of companies. So when you get out of college for this, you can find an internship at a company, places like CRISPR that are studying it, and you can get your foot in the door there, and different medical institutions around the country. Research materials for future products. So science is it's a growing industry, obviously, because we're just constantly finding new things in the world. So one aspect of a biomedical engineer is to find out what is the next movement, what they'll need next. So beyond what we already have, what we're kind of developing is something, for example, like growing bodies and harvesting kidneys and organs out of a functioning body, but it doesn't have a brain. It's confusing, but that's an example of what they would do. So they would go out and they would find out what they need, the materials, the workspace, everything that they would need to make it happen. Another thing is just to look at data for human behavioral reactions to products. Just going back to the first example, how a bionic leg would react with the nerve endings in the leg or the blood vessels, or how the brain could send messages to move it. Knowledge and required skills. A few required skills in this are attention to detail, analytical skills, ability to emphasize with patience, good eyes for design, and know how the body works. I would say that's the one of the biggest things. Knowing that a biomedical engineer starts with bio, and biology is all about how life works, how the body works, how everything goes together. So if you're going to be dealing with life or death, things that are artificial organs or something that could ruin a person's life, you should probably know how it reacts to the body and how the body works in the first place. Education required. There's a bachelor's degree is a minimum requirement for a biomedical engineer, and a master's is recommended. Um, a high school diploma or a GED, in addition to SAT or ACT scores submitted to the college you're going to. Some companies will actually pay for your master's. I know our school recently did. They brought people in and for occupations to talk to students, and one person was a mechanical engineer, which is similar to a biomedical engineer. And he said that he internshipped with a company, and they once he got his foot in the door, they actually paid him to go on and do more school and go for his master's. And he said it worked out great because the company gained his knowledge, so like he was more of an asset because he knew what he was talking about, and he got to go to 2 more years of school for free. So potential colleges. One potential college is University of Maine. Uh, University of Maine, it has 11,000 people total, and the tuition for in-state, just tuition, is $8,580, which is very cheap. It has a pretty solid engineering program, and it's very close to home. Purdue University is another option, which has 41,500 people enrolled there, and tuition for us, or for me, would be out of state, is about $42,000. This is not as much as other colleges, but it's still much more than UMaine. But it is the top engineering program in the entire country, so I guess you'll get the biggest bang for your buck. Interests. My interests are biology, obviously, why I'm making this slide. Problem solving, which I like to do, such as little problems such as like Sudoku or solitaire, stuff like that. Math and being analytical, just analyzing things like numbers and stuff in math class just to see how they pan out. Wages. An average wage for a biomedical engineer is $88,000 a year. So the lowest 10% of the biomedical engineer salaries recorded was $52,000 in that range, and the highest 10% is $142,000. So that just gives you from a low to high range. And one study found that if you have a PhD, you get on average $10,000 more by a company or added onto your salary per year just because of that extra education. Job outlook. As of 2014, in the 10-year projection, it is supposed to grow by 24%. A job outlook is just an occupation's projected employment change, usually over a 10-year period, such as the one I just gave you. This is a pretty solid high percentage for increase. There's an increasing need for them, and the reason is because technology and science is just becoming a growing aspect in the world today, and an engineer is always going through all that school and hard classes. There's always a scarcity of them. So when you combine the two, it turns out good. Related occupations. A chemical engineer is one related occupation. Chemical engineers solve problems in productions of drugs, foods, chemicals, etc. A physician. They diagnose and treat injuries. Physicians are any kind of doctor, anybody that treats normal civilians. A biochemist are people who develop new medicines to fight diseases, kind of like a pharmaceutical kind of person. They combine chemicals and see what will react with the body and how it'll fight a disease such as cancer. And that's it. This is my works cited page. There are 6 works cited. And yeah, thank you.